Welcome to Brake Check. I'm Craig, and today we have the 2021 Hyundai Kona Limited. So you may have watched our Kia Seltos review. It's really similar to that, although not exactly the same. We'll talk about what's under here in just a minute, but first just want to talk about styling. The biggest difference between the Seltos and the Kona is the styling. The Seltos has a little bit of a chin that comes up a little bit more the front, easier for approach angles or better approach angles. This one, I think the Kona, looks a little better. That's just my preference. You have some of the body cladding. I think it's just a more clean looking design, a little more conservative, not as outrageous as the Seltos. So the Limited, we get the 1.6 turbo versus the 2-liter 4-cylinder, and this comes with the dual clutch transmission. Pretty cool. So come around here, get nice little turn indicators on the mirrors, which I think is good for a car in this segment. It makes it look pretty good. The Limited, we get the moonroof, which is really nice. You do have a decent amount of room here in the back. You can put 2 car seats in and still have some room. Adults could fit in there for a moderate ride, not too long a ride, but a moderate ride. Coming around the back here, you got a decent hatch. It's a very functional car, so not the biggest, but because of its dimensions and size and hit point, again, these crossovers, we've talked about them before, are really functional and very just practical. On that note, we've talked about crossovers a lot on a particular thing called the Brake Check Show podcast. So if you haven't subscribed to that yet, check that out. We got a lot more on there. Interesting note about the Kona, coming here, we don't have a spare. And I don't mean we don't have a full-size spare. We don't have a spare tire at all. The only thing we get is a little compressor and a way to just air your tire back up. Hopefully that'll hold to get you to the next spot. So you do get a compressor, that's cool. Bad news is you don't get a tire. So something to think about there. Again, this is the Limited. It's 1.6 turbo and is the all-wheel drive version. So same all-wheel drive system that's in the Seltos and some of the other Hyundai Kia products. We have tested it out a little bit. It does work decent. You can lock the center diff, and it also has a downhill descent control. Although I couldn't really tell that it was doing anything, so, but maybe it didn't have it on a steep enough hill. Let's continue around here, come around to the front. You do get plenty of space up front. It makes up for the space in the back that's a little short. Up front, you get plenty. Very intuitive, easy layout. It's easy to see, the buttons are easy to work. It's Hyundai Kia's infotainment system works wonderful. So it's just real easy to navigate and get used to. Let's come around to the business end. Front, we have like I said earlier, we have the 1.6 liter turbo. It's a dual clutch transmission, so this makes 195 pound-feet of torque, 175 horsepower. It is pretty peppy. You do hear it moan a little bit under load and under heavy acceleration, but it does go, it does scoot. Best part about it is the dual clutch transmission. I know you wouldn't think that would matter in a car like this, but it is fun. The shift patterns are in the wrong direction, in my opinion. It's down for a downshift and up for an upshift. It should be the reverse, but that's a whole nother story. It works pretty good. It's very peppy and very, very fun to drive, and it's a good platform. Most interestingly, the difference between the Kona and the Seltos is the Kona is on the Tucson platform. It's actually a shared platform, a little bit different, and it's a little bit smaller, of course. The Seltos is a completely different platform. It is not the same platform as the Kona. You would think they'd be the same. Turns out they're not. So where does the Kona fit in? It's a little bit bigger than the Venue, a little bit smaller than the Tucson. I think it's a great compromise, a good city car, good for a lot of people, good for small or young families, or one person or 2 people by themselves. So anyways, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Our Seltos review is up. You can compare that as well. I think those are 2 really good ones to compare. The Seltos will run a little bit more than the Kona, but not a whole lot. So, but again, the styling is the biggest difference. That's what you need to look out for. With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in and subscribe, whatever, all those things. You know, Brian always does better than this, but whatever. You know what to do. It's all here at the bottom. Click the buttons. Thanks for watching.